How would you like an extra day in your week? That's basically what waking up at 5:30 feels like for me. There's something about it once you get into a routine, once you get used to being up that early, that you have such a longer day. I have time to focus on myself. I have time to focus on my relationship. I have time to focus on my work. I have time to go after new jobs. I have time to improve myself, to learn things, to exercise. This is just me honestly sharing an experience that I had, honestly sharing something that I kind of been going through. And at this moment, I'm very obsessed with waking up this early just because I feel like I can do so much. I'm just very excited about the different things that I can do because I change such a small behavior on my everyday. I'm not the first or the last person to wake up 5:30. You're probably seeing a bunch of videos of people waking up early and talking about the benefits of being awake in the morning and earlier in the day. So I just wanted to share with you my experience. But first of all, I got this idea from a book called The Miracle Morning. It's a great book that talks about the benefits of waking up early. But in this book, they talk a lot about different things that you could do, suggesting meditation and a bunch of other things, that kind of exercises that you do in the morning as a way to improve yourself. But I decided to kind of take my own spin on the book. And what I did is I took the principle of the book, which is personal development in the morning and waking up early. And I kind of took on to have my own type of personal development. I do things that I want to do that I feel like would be beneficial to myself. And that varies. Some days I just start working a little bit earlier. Some days I focus fully on just personal development. But there's three main things that I do every morning, at least to the best of my abilities. The first of them is a learning activity. This is the perfect time for me to tell you the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. No, there's no sponsor in this video, but it would have been a perfect segment. And every day I take about half an hour to 45 minutes to try and learn something new. Either to try and improve my skills as a filmmaker, to try and learn something completely unrelated to film or my work, just things that I'm curious about. This is a time that I have to develop my brain kind of thing. So I feel like by learning a new thing or by discovering or understanding something new, I'm moving forward. I'm feeling a little more progressive. I'm developing myself as a person. So that becomes kind of the first thing that I do, followed by two things that kind of come together. I don't do this every single day because some days I have to start work really early, so I don't have enough time. But it's exercise and reading. So personally, I don't read books. I just can't deal with, I don't know. I just get too distracted too easily and it takes me way too long to finish a book. But I found that Audible, the second sponsor of this video, that could have also been a great sponsor, but it's not a sponsor. But Audible, which is something that I've been using for the past 2 years now. Every book that I consume is on Audible. So I usually combine the reading with the exercise and I kind of becomes all one. And I do that for about an hour to an hour and a half. Sometimes I finish the book and I don't want to pay for another book yet, so I started listening to podcasts because there's so many podcasts that I want to listen to. So at the moment I've been listening to the Diary of a CEO, which is an incredible podcast, and I've been getting so much out of it. So these are the three main things that I do every morning, unless the shoot that I'm doing starts very early, so I don't have enough time to exercise and come back and shower. Ideally, I try to do these three things. Apart from that, I try and do some financial learning as well. So sometimes I'll go after YouTube videos or after something financial related to try and learn more of that because it's something I'm very interested in. But I think what that does is kind of gets me ahead. It gets me on the right mindset. It gets me ready. It gets me into 100% way before everybody else is awake. So it doesn't matter if my shoot starts at 8:30 or if it starts at 10 or whatever time it starts, or if I have to edit or anything I have to do, because I already took the time to focus on myself. I took the time to do the things that I wanted to do before being taken by the day. And that's something that really changed my dynamic with the things that I do. I feel like a lot more precise, a lot more focused on what I need to do just because I get to focus on myself first. So I never feel like being driven by the day or driven by my meetings or things I have to do because I always have this time for myself. And I know waking up at 5:30 sounds horrendous and incredibly difficult. If you are curious about waking up at 5:30, I would recommend you reading or listening to the Miracle Morning book, because it gives you the logistics and how to do it and kind of how to better do it, because obviously anyone can set an alarm for 5:30, wake up and do it, but it gives you a good frame of work, and I don't think I will do a greater job here explaining, so this is more of my experience through it. But I'll give you a couple of key points that I've taken out of this whole activity. First thing, it's going to take a couple of days to feel good. I've just came back from a travel where I wasn't really waking up early, so even though I was doing it beforehand and then I took a week off and then now starting again, it wasn't until the third day that I actually felt good waking up. You have to kind of trick yourself to waking up. So personally, I have this exercise watch that I use for sleep, which I use as an alarm. I don't think I ever seen anyone doing this, or at least talking about it, but it was something that helped me tremendously with my sleep, because the way the alarm works is not a sound, it's just vibrations. So it wakes me up very gently, which I find it quite nice, so I don't wake up in distress. And so I have the alarm on my arm for 5:20 a.m. and then I have my phone charging on the other side of the bedroom at 5:25. So I know that as soon as I kind of start waking up with my wrist, I have another 5 minutes and then I'm up. The important thing is, once you're up, grab the phone out of the room. Drink some water. I don't drink coffee first thing in the morning. I found out that 5:30 is just way too early for coffee. And you get kind of, if you start waking up at 5:30, you start feeling hungry earlier. And if you have coffee, if you digest something that early, you're just gonna be hungry more times. Not necessarily what I want. So at 5:30, I force myself to drink water, because you don't even feel thirsty, but your body needs to hydrate a little bit. And then I'll get coffee once I start working, usually 8:30 or 9 a.m. When I start kind of my working time, that's when I'll have coffee. It's currently 3:30 p.m. and I've edited 25 videos today. I've shot 2 videos already. I had a meeting. I went for a run. I listened to 2 episodes of a podcast. I watched Gary Vee's Skillshare class. I've done so much already, and it's still like somewhere half of the day. The last thing, promise, last thing I would talk about. Obviously, waking up at 5:30 means you technically sleep less. But what I think happened, I don't force myself to go to sleep early, but I do go to sleep when I'm tired. So my priority is to wake up at 5:30. So it doesn't matter if I go to sleep 10 p.m., 11, 12, I have to wake up at 5:30. So as much as I can, I'm trying to be reasonable. And obviously, as the day goes on, you start feeling tired. Usually I get to like 9:30, 10 p.m. I'm pretty done with the day. So if I have the opportunity to go to bed or something like that around 10:30 or so, I will. I know I'll get better sleep. Some days are a little more intense, or some days are kind of out of my control, so I end up not being home until 11 or going to bed at 12. Still have to wake up at the same time. So my priority is what time I wake up, not necessarily what time I go to bed. But whenever possible, I try to go to bed a little bit earlier, because I do enjoy sleep. But I think the things that I want to accomplish, my goals and the things that I want to do are more important than sleeping. So therefore, 5:30 it is. I'm blabbing. I don't even know what's happening anymore. But that's it. Thank you for watching. Hope you liked this video. If you did, consider subscribing, doing other stuff. That's all I have for you today. Goodbye. Sounded so dramatic. Goodbye.